Imagine spending years, hour after hour, building an incredible business just so you can feel like you're confident, have high self esteem, and you can get rid of your anxiety because you actually feel safe. But then when you actually get there, all those emotions are there, but they're even heightened. And now you just feel like something's incredibly wrong with you because now you've gotten these things and you still have the same problems you had to begin with. Now, in this video, we're going to teach you how to overcome that, why that is, and what you could do about it. So, first things first, why is it that these things that we've worked so hard to attain and we put our blood, sweat, and tears in is not producing the same outcome emotionally that we want it to? Now, the reason for this is because it's not aligned with our nervous system. So, no matter what you get externally, it will only shift your internal compass kind of a little bit for maybe like hour, 2 hours a week. Let's say you buy something really nice that you've been working out, you've been flexing it, a watch, car, whatever it is. After that, you're just back to whatever state you're in before. So you keep externalizing the emotion. Now, that emotion that you keep going back to is what we call the baseline. So this is the baseline, and we think by increasing our external, we can thus raise our baseline. But what actually happens is here's our baseline. We get dopamine spikes, which cause us to feel good temporarily. But at the end of the day, we always come back down to that baseline. So why do we have the baseline where it's at, and how do we change it? So the baseline was given to us from the years of 1 to 7. That is our baseline. That's where we call it the infancy period, where that's where you get your beliefs, your self-esteem, self-worth, and your emotional needs. So like if you're high energy, then that's where that baseline was. If you're low energy, that's where that baseline was. Now, most people, once that is set, that never changes. Their whole life is this. They chase external for spikes and then always end up dipping down, so their life is like this, instead of actually bringing their baseline up. Now, this is why you see celebrities and these super successful people self-delete, because essentially what they're saying is, I've experienced everything up here and it's still meaningless, and they don't see a way out. So they decide that there's only one way out, and it's unfortunately the wrong choice. So then what can we do to change the internal beliefs that we have that say, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough? You feel the imposter syndrome, the shame, the guilt. Well, like I said before, this was developed in the first 1 to 7 years of our life. So then, what can we do to change it? Well, the answer is very simple. We need to change the negative addiction we have to these lower states and these lower emotions. Now, in order to bring ourselves up, we'll always end up bringing ourselves down because we have these limiting beliefs. Here's an example. If you were criticized as a child all the time, everyone was focused on the bad things you did, and then the good things, your wins, didn't really get much attention. So then you're unconsciously chasing the need for validation and to prove people you're worthy and you're enough and that you're not a failure. So you'll ignore all the successes and all the good things you've done, and you'll just keep focusing on this, which creates the emotional state, which even if we were to change for you, you would self-sabotage and go back to it because you need to fulfill that identity, that self-worth, and that self-esteem that was given it to you in the first year of your life, or the first 7 years of your life. Another example of this is if you were a hard worker, you kept your head down, you didn't really speak much. Well, maybe it's because you were told that, like, you shouldn't be loud. If you're loud, you're going to get chopped down and you're going to get judged. So now all of a sudden, you have a lot of energy, you want to be expressive, you want to connect with people, but then, like, you don't even see it. It's just repressed, not even suppressed. You're not consciously doing it, but it's so ingrained in your nervous system, it's repressed. So a lot of times we don't even notice it, where we'll bring our energy up and then we'll cut it down, and we'll say, and bring ourselves down here because we don't want to feel embarrassed, or we don't feel safe to do it, or we feel like we're not wanted, or whatever the thing is. So then the drivers of these unconscious mechanisms and these addictive emotional states is going to be driven by our identity. Now, there's multiple different identities, so it needs to be personalized for you to see, what's going to be best. And if that's something you're interested in, you could leave a comment below, or you could DM me on Instagram, HADI_CEE, same as my name here. So, anyways, what we need to do is one, delete the negative identity and negative emotional state that's making you try and come back up, or making you come back down, rather, is what I meant to say. So, like, you'll come back up, and then the program will kick in and then drop you down, and then you'll get into shame, guilt, sadness, whatever it is. So first we need to delete the identity that keeps bringing you up. Then we need to bring you up and then create a positive anchor, so you have that visual and you have that emotional state that's going to start anchoring you, that you could start to experience more and more and more of. And then as a consequence, your energy will go up. These beliefs will stop sabotaging you and bringing you down. And as a consequence of your energy going up, you take more action, more powerful action, and you get better results. You start to feel more fulfilled, and you just become a more powerful human being because you're operating out of power instead of just trying to force and fight your way through it, which is obviously going to be a lot better for you. It's going to be a lot healthier for you. A lot of the issues we have, dis-ease, is because our mind is in dis-ease. So because of the stress and the adrenaline and the shame and the guilt that we put ourselves through, and the unworthiness, this is what causes a lot of manifestations of problems. So then once you change your identity, you could change your nervous system. Once you change your nervous system, you change your life. Now, hopefully this was helpful. If it was, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping bangers like this more regularly, and I just want to help you. And if you're interested in personalizing this coaching to you so you could break out of whatever funk you're in, you can comment down below or DM me on Instagram, same @ and I'll see you in the next video.